Right.
Hello and welcome to the Squeeze with Lori and Lucille. And we have three business owners who are really excited today as our guests. Armen, Alajian, right, from
Good. It's good enough.
His business is in Los Angeles, California. We have Claudia McMullen of Hugo Coffee. She is in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we have Maria Piedra, who is the owner of the Butterfly Tree Gift Boutique in Medfield, Massachusetts. That's a suburb of Boston. And 4 months ago, we talked to them just at the beginning of the COVID crisis about how it was affecting their businesses. And, we had a very interesting conversation, and you can see that show. It's on our YouTube, Lori and my YouTube channel, of course, called The Squeeze. And so now we thought it would be good to have them come back and find out 4 months later what's happening. What is the situation in each of your states, and how are they faring business-wise? So anyway, Lori, is there anything you want to add before we get going?
I can't believe it's been 4 months.
Andy.
Like 4 months has gone by pretty quickly, even though it's gone by slow. It's a weird dynamic, don't you think?
Yeah.
It is. I'm still counting down.
Counting down from what?
From our first 3-week quarantine. Oh, and our second one. And then our third, at least in LA, our first, second, and third countdown.
Oh.
I'm telling you, crazy. So why don't we let's get a little check-in with each of you, and find out first of all, what's the situation in your state? I'm in Massachusetts along with Maria, we seem to be in pretty good shape right now. It's funny, I was reading an article, I'm just going to say a Forbes article that said that there is no state that is in the green zone, which means that that the state would be on track for containment. So I find that interesting. The closest states are Vermont and Maine, but no state is on track for containment. So, Armen, tell us what's going on. How's California? Lori's in California too, and how is Arto doing?
I left the planet. I'm not in Los Angeles as we didn't speak about earlier. I'm in Redding, California. I've been living in either hotels or RV parks for the last 35 days. And the mood of the Northwest is just like putting on a seatbelt at this point in time. They're just doing the you can tell they're just putting on the mask and doing all the things out of respect more than out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
The mood of the businesses that I saw a lot of customers and a lot of cold calling customers, and in my industry, in the remodel or home or building industry, it's been robust. Everyone's been busy, even with appointment only for showrooms. It's been very, very busy. Everyone's off the hook busy, and our business is busy. We're doing very well. We're actually hire salespeople.
That is very good news, although in California, our numbers have been going up, and they've been opening our state and then closing our state. And actually, a business association created the California Coalition for Safe Reopening, because these hair salons and nail salons and restaurants are just so frustrated with okay, you can have indoor seating. Oh, it's no indoor seating. Oh, it's only outdoor. And so we are scrambling. Luckily, it's summer and we have good weather. I mean, you go anywhere in the neighborhoods where the businesses are, and there are tents up with nail salons outside, people working out outside. They've really pivoted to try to make the most of it, although so many businesses are so frustrated. I have a friend who has a 30-year-old business that was booming and growing, and bam, closed for 3 months. There was no opening, and they're worried they're not going to be able to make it through that, because most small businesses aren't as lucky as Arto and some other businesses that are thriving through this.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you, Claudia. How's Utah? What's happening? What's the status?
The state of Utah has a rolling average of a 10% infection rate over the past 7 days. We, in my county, Summit County, we're doing much better than the state because we have a mask ordinance in place, as does Salt Lake City has a mask ordinance in place. So our numbers have been going down as a result, which is good.
Yay.
Particularly given that we are in a resort town with lots of visitors right now. So it's
people from California go there.
There's so many people moving here from California, Texas, Florida, East Coast. I mean, Park City real estate is booming like crazy. I mean, I sold my house for full price cash and closed in 7 days without ever. Yeah,
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the residential real estate and construction is off the hook.
But the business, so as far as my businesses go, I reopened the coffee shop on May 3rd. So I was closed for almost 7 weeks, and we opened with social distance. I have the everybody's wearing masks. You can dine in. You can take out, I could deliver to your car. We have the barriers in place. We've done everything, but the business is still down over 30% year over year. So, but for PPP and some funding I got, I would not be alive. And there's no guarantee I'll be alive in 2 months on that business. My roasting business has a much better chance of surviving because I have really focus a lot of effort on pivoting to direct-to-consumer sales and put a lot of money and energy towards that. So that is showing some traction. And I got a new grocery customer, which is nice. That's a Utah-based chain of 17 grocery stores. So that was a nice add. My wholesale business is slowly coming back, but it won't be back to pre-March 15th unless there's a cure, unless there's a vaccine. Because you can't have resorts, hotels, restaurants, we can't be fully occupied at all right now. Sales-wise, July was year over year the same, which was great. So I think that the likelihood of my surviving, the roasting company surviving, is very good. The coffee shop, not so much.
It's so interesting, 48% of people who work, of American workers, work in small businesses.
Yeah.
And this is taking such an incredible toll. Maria, I'm going to unmute you. I muted you just so we could hear a little bit of sound. Tell us what's going on. Oh my goodness.
Wrong button, Lucille.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I've lost her totally.
Well, Armen and Claudia and I are all part of 10,000 Small Businesses, and I know that Armen is part of some other small business associations. And so, we do know that. We feel it. We get these constant texts from the group saying, what are we doing? How are we pivoting?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, to think we're still in this, and we're going to be in this for a while.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There was discussion on our last show when we talked about, just counting down the days to when we were going to be, when it was post-COVID. I don't think we're ever, even if we get a vaccine, you've got tons of people. The problem here is there are people involved with very strong opinions who will not take that vaccine. Yep. So, you've got a worldwide pandemic that not everyone is in agreement. This is something we are going to be working on for a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very frustrating. And what do you as a business, really, you've got to just be constantly, from my opinion, constantly prepared to adjust. And like I said, it's nice to hear, Armen, that you're doing good. You got to build, people are going to still build homes and renovate. Actually, the lines at Home Depot or any home renovation business, and the nurseries, the floor, we buy plants, the lines are like ridiculous. People are, it's like, what else do you do?
Well, when you divert your expenses from going out to eat and buying coffee, and
I don't care if you buy a coffee and have it delivered to your house.
Have it delivered.
Right. You need to really push that.
Yeah.
Hugo at home.
When people are at home,
Hugo
when people are at home, they're saving a lot of money and they're spending it on their homes. I know in New York, that the city's empty, and people are buying up property all around the hub of New York. I think it's happening everywhere. People are buying homes up quickly that are not in dense areas, and they'll probably. I heard a story where after like 40 years of the downtown areas being all rejuvenated, that between the unrest and the COVID, you've had the cities basically go back 40 years. We'll see if it recovers fast, but we were all told to go to the city, and that's where and most of the time that's where the problems are.
Yeah,
for sure.
When I was in Deadwood, South Dakota, you could literally gamble and kiss a stranger. There was nothing going. There was an absence of fear. I didn't gamble or kiss a stranger, but I walked down Deadwood, and that's how it was.
But
is it because their numbers are so low, or is because the government in their state isn't what? Well,
it's slower, and so the government didn't act, right? So if you have, I believe in South Dakota at the time, it was not even an issue. And even in Jackson Hole, when I was there, you had a lot of people that are out of towners that are there, and the streets were
packed. I heard
packed, and not. It was half and half. It was, you can tell people that wore masks and they didn't wear masks. I was in Bend, Oregon 2 days ago, and there was no party lines on the subject matter. In fact, I thought it was reversed, if you can say that. I mean, it was really people in stores that ran stores didn't require you to wear masks. That's how it was.
See, I find that super unnerving for me. I mean, as you're watching a lot of these states that it was zero, spiking now.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think with all the travel too, all these people who are, first of all, maybe not believing in all of this. Mm-hmm. So they travel and they're not, they're not thinking, I mean, there's no blanket federal, like, this is what we need to do. I don't believe that sending it to each individual state is a very good idea, because then you get 50 different ideas,
And bottom line is we're all on our own as to how we want to deal with this crisis for ourselves.
True.
Because there's an absolute leadership vacuum around this. It's outrageous.
Right.
It's infuriating.
I was in Washington State, and I was in the West, and I was in the East, and I was, and if you look on the Washington State's a hot zone at one time, and they had it per county, and that's where the state was in control, and they had different rules per county. I was in a county that had when you walked into a building, you had to wear a mask. When you sat down, you could take it off. So it was a lot lighter than the West in Washington State. So it depends. It's even the states that have issues are doing, and that's the point. I mean, it's a bigger discussion today. Is we have 5 business owners on this call, and we are all little states, and we have an option to run our businesses the way we want to, and that's something that we're talking about today. Is how you want to run it, and how you're going to survive, and how you're going to thrive. Not just survive, but thrive if possible.
Yeah, good point.
So we just got Maria back in. So I'm gonna Maria, let's hear how things are going for you in the butterfly tree, and now that you are open, what's going on? Give us just an update.
Okay, so we were able to reopen, I want to say mid-June, and we took it really slow, not knowing how things, how people were going to feel about coming back into a business, into a retail store. So it was nice to be able to actually, have customers come in. It makes it a lot easier because we're not really set up as I should be to do a lot of online business. That was a pivot I had tried to make during the shutdown, and it was a lot of work. And even with all the efforts, sales were off considerably. Sales are still down, so we've been open a whole month, for the month of July, and sales are still below what they would normally be. But it's definitely, it's helpful to be able to be open and, and even with the masks and the different protocols to keep everyone safe. That's helpful. We're also, continuing a pivot just with retail in general. It's been impacted by, like Amazon and people's level of comfort with online sales. And that's only, the pandemic has reinforced people's shopping habits or changed their shopping habits to more online. So we had started to do an activity area where it was going to be more of an experiential shopping experience where you could create a unique gift. And so we're back on track to do that.
Good.
But yeah, it's a different climate, and things are slower, and people are cautious. People are not spending as much as they were on certain things, the types of things that I have in the store. And I'm rethinking, like, how do I go forward for the holiday season? It's such a big unknown right now with everything that's happening. I'm concerned about another shutdown. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right. I think with you being so personable, you have the personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
That is where, that is your niche. That is where you can totally thrive, because Amazon is just a transaction.
I know.
Yeah.
Period. They're going to be there, so you got to figure out a way to pivot on that for sure.
Exactly.
Well, brand trumps a lot of stuff. So whatever we can all do here on this thing for ourselves and is help with branding, because it's going to be all about brand and storytelling, not about the transaction, because it'll be either give away cheap or it'll be a story. It won't be. There's no middle left.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I just want to say, like, I did so much. I think I was really exhausted with all this, trying to, do all the social media and take pictures, and I was exhausted. I took a little break from that. I also sold my house. I'm a real estate agent as well, so I've been kicking that up a notch. And so it's been busy, even, like, life has been busy. I'm sure everyone, finds that life has been different, but where'd the time go, right?
Yeah.
Right. The
How are you
whole-
doing real estate? Real estate
Go ahead,
busy for
Armen.
you?
Real estate is really busy in terms of when you're trying to sell something. It's really busy. There's not a lot on the market, and when you're working with buyers, it's super competitive. So you don't always get the offer accepted. So that's where we're at. Not a lot of, we've been able to be opened, but not so much inventory.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, in the past downturns, the real estate and building industry have been worst hit. It's so awkward to be the industry that's surviving or thriving in this downturn.
Right.
I know,
Right.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I think in the past downturns, I think restaurants, food, and movie theaters were busier in a regular downturn. Here we are; it's the opposite for the first time, and I'm not forgetting about it. I'm not gonna forget about the blessing of being busy in this time.
Yeah, so Maria, you may have missed it, but Armen's business, he is doing quite well. And
Yeah, I did miss that.
He's doing quite well. And Claudia, the roasting of coffee beans, and part of her business, she thinks is the stronger part. But you are open, Claudia, for in your retail.
Yeah, the coffee shop is open 7 days a week, shorter hours, but sales are down 30 to 50% year over year. And I was saying that the likelihood of survival is up in the air. We don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I don't, depending on what happens with the CARES Act 2, if there's more PPP, that'll help me stay open. I'm lucky that I'm in a state that has been really good at helping small businesses. So Utah has an Office of Economic Development. It's called GoEd. And they have done bridge loans for small businesses. I just got 2 grants, one for each of my businesses. It's called Buy Utah program. So the grant money, I have to spend half the grant money in discounts or giveaways to customers to get customers shopping in my store,
Like that.
my roasting company. So
They want tax money. Sorry, I apologize.
So for me,
is sales tax forgiven to you or no?
pardon me?
Is sales tax forgiven in that or no?
But for me, it's like somebody's paying me to help me with my pivot.
Right.
I'm being paid to market.
It's a win-win. I mean, I hear you, Armen, but it's still a win-win.
It's fantastic. It's totally fantastic. And for the coffee shop, it's a way of getting people in, buy one, get one free coffee, buy one, get the sandwich half off coffee. And those kinds of things will get people back in the stores. But I have the same experience as Maria in that we don't have a high level of comfort in going in stores and dining in our
Right.
community.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't think there's a high level of comfort. And I think it has to do with the fact that, I think it's the other thing we were talking about is that everything's individual, how we're individually handling this situation. We're all on our own and everybody's acting that way, right? So people aren't comfortable in masks. Maybe you're comfortable, but I'm not comfortable. Like my husband won't go dine in anywhere. He just won't. He absolutely won't.
Right.
Right. It's even different within our families. I have the same issue.
Yeah. Yeah, we do too. We do too. It is. It's really so challenging. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear about the local grants, Claudia, that are available to you.
It has been my job for the past 4 months. My job has been to acquire money.
Yeah.
One way or another. I have filed for everything under the sun. I have 40 grant applications out there.
Wow.
Every loan. I mean, now I'm veering away from loans because I don't want more debt. I want more grant money. So there's so many grant opportunities for women-owned businesses, particularly right now, that are a lot of opportunities. So Maria, if you want to reach out, let me
You'll
know.
have to give us some. You'll have to give us some tips on that, Claudia. I know our local town just sent an email. Maria, I don't know if you saw it, but there's going to be some grant money available to small businesses. So that's going to be wonderful. And I do think branding is really important. And I think in storytelling, I mean, I'm a marketer, Lori's a marketer. Those are critical factors, but you have to be able to still, keep your business open and have your clients, have clients and customers come in. So I think it's great.
So
you have to take advantage of that.
Did you guys, Lori, did you see that I won the Stacy's Rise finalist contest?
You won.
I was one of 15 winners.
Right on. No, I saw that you were one of them.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So that is super cool. And what goes along
Can you say that again?
So
I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Stacy's Pita Chips was started as a small women-owned business, and it was purchased by Frito-Lay. And they have this program every year called Stacy's Rise, and it's a grant app. It's a grant program. So you apply as a women-owned business, and I think it might be particularly helpful. It just fit me very well in that I have a consumable product that has a social mission, a give back mission component to it, and I think that those are the types of products they were looking for, because all the winners have a social mission element to their mission statement. Anyway, what comes with it, which is super great, in addition to the money, is mentorship.
Oh, wow.
So I meet once a week with 2 women from PepsiCo, and they're helping me on the telling of the brand story. So when we're finished today, I'm going and working on my sales story.
You have a great story. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been really exciting. That's been a very exciting positive that's happened during COVID-19.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
It was very exciting.
It is. Yeah, and inspirational.
Armen and Maria, are there any wins like that? Anything, even a small win that you find through this? Because I think that if we focus on, the wins, that we're grateful for, it just means we're going to get more of that. I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah, like I said, I have a business in a downturn, and usually I'm the first one that eats rice and beans. So this has been I appreciate gratefully that there's work in my industry during this tough time. So that's
I'd like
one.
to add to that, because there was I work for Armen with the social media of Arto Brick, and we had a realtor who flips houses, and they did a big fireplace. Who this person I had this conversation with Lucille. She happens to be in PR. Well, PR has nothing to do. There are no events, so they have nothing. If you think of that industry, it's been decimated. So they're in real estate as well. So just like Maria, kind of, have a couple things going in there. But they sold this house that they flipped so fast. And the reason why, I asked her, I said, why do you think that is? First of all, she used Arto, no plug there. But it was everybody involved. It was a lot of teamwork with a staging person, with the work all the product that went into this home. But the other thing she did that was fabulous, she used her PR in a way that really highlighted the house. There were videos everywhere. She had a 2.5-minute video where it was a mid-century modern house. So she got decked out mid-mod. She drove in a car from the 1950s, walked up to it is brilliant what she did. So it goes back to telling stories. How can your story fit into something that's going to catch your viewers' eyes and that kind of goes viral? She sold that house in a matter of a couple of weeks. All bids were higher than asking price, and they're working on 2 more homes. It is a great success story on that.
And who knew? I mean, I put money down on a lot in February. I'm building a house and selling a house in Park City, and one is not contingent on the other. And in the middle of it, a pandemic hits. Like,
Right.
you don't know what the effect's going to be. The house is
No.
still being, I'm going to still owe for the completed home, regardless of what happens to the sale of my house. It just so happens that my house, we have the same experience in our community. Like, you can't, there is no inventory, and people buy it virtually sight unseen. From virtual tours from across the country, people are paying over cash over ask.
Without walking in the house?
In the house.
I could not do that.
Now, Maria, you're in real estate too. And
I
you
am.
just sold a house. So are you, I mean, things have been hot here too.
Absolutely. And that's, you know, I'm grateful to have a business that allows me to also, you know, work in the real estate market now. I think I'm kind of utilizing that to help my business stay afloat. So yeah, no, we just flipped a house, and let's see, I had 7 offers.
Wow.
I sold it. I had like the first day I had offers, and but I held offers I let it go through the weekend. So I sold it in 4 days. Gosh, it was close to 40,000 over asking.
Wow.
So
that's what I got.
You know, the market's hot. It was like we did, you know, I think we did a really nice job with the remodel. I did the staging. I didn't have to market that much just because the demand was so, there's just people want to get out of the city, and I think they want to get to the suburbs, and there's no inventory. So timing was good. It was super helpful for me. Like my business here at the Butterfly Tree is down. Oh gosh, it was down like 90% while we were shut down. And, you know, I mean, last month, I don't know what the percent was, but it was probably down 30%. So, you know, like it was great, and it's helping. So, and I'm grateful that I do have really great customers here. I recognize that what you're saying, everyone's saying, and it makes sense. I need to do more storytelling and branding for my business. And I appreciate your sharing that, because I need those reminders.
That's all. All the money is going into marketing, redoing the website, maximizing the Shopify, SEOing the Shopify, everything I can do to get the word out.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Smart. I mean, it's so smart. And Maria, you're underestimating. I'm sorry, Claudia. Okay, no, I'm saying you're underestimating.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
You did.
Oh, me, it's her. Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
To your clientele and your customers constantly. You work so hard. They really did do a very good job.
Well, thank you.
But I'm glad to hear what Claudia is saying, because I have found that I'm a digital marketer, and that people are holding back their money. And what Armen had said with the story. Can you hear? Is my mic okay?
Your mic's okay.
Their story, their brand is so important, and their marketing plan is so important. But I am finding that business owners are holding back on hiring marketing consultants at this point. So where they need to do the opposite, but because of the uncertainty and they don't know where they're going to be. Yeah. They are being extremely cautious in hiring.
I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would like people to think that they really don't have a choice, Claudia, but I don't think everyone realizes it.
Yeah. Well, to survive, you've got to spend money on what's going to make you survive.
Right.
And for me, that's direct to consumer sales.
Amen.
Yeah.
So Armen, I would love to know, so Armen might be running out of juice, so we can ask him the second question before he runs out and we lose him. And knowing what you know now, would you have changed your plan moving forward, going back to March? Now hindsight is 2020. What is that 2020 for you and your business?
I learned a lot of lessons in 2008, 9, 10, and 11, and I didn't forget those lessons. And I took this event as disruption, not destruction. So I do better in turmoil than I do when there's peace. And so my 2 cents is that luckily the old policy of trying to grow in a downturn is what we're still trying to do. And I'm trying to get market share from the big boys. And this time we're winning. I mean, last time it was survival and a little bit of thriving. This time it's thriving. But again, next month, 2 months from now, a year, I don't know what's going to go on. But right now we're doing well, and we're actually hiring salespeople, and hiring inside salespeople, and talking about increasing capacity in manufacturing. So that's where we are right now. I think it is mindset, and no one's going to hire me too. So like the guy at Burnt the Ships, I think it was not Magellan, somebody else. Coronado burnt the ships, I guess. I have nowhere to go to. I have no backup plan. So my backup plan is only forward.
Now, do you have any tips, Armen, for business owners? What would you say to other business owners?
Any given Sunday, it's always in your mind. I mean, there's actual facts, like no cash in the bank, things like that. But even that can't stop you. So I think the biggest thing is it's attitude is all of it. There's a concept called the Stockdale principle, and I didn't invent it, obviously, but the concept is that don't lie to yourself about where you are. It's all about if it's really bad, it's really bad. If it's really good, it's really good. Whatever the moment is, realize it's the current, and then work all you can to change it. Versus the other way around. Hey, it's not so bad. It'll get better. No, you have to actually admit to yourself it sucks, or whatever the situation is, and then work your best to try and change it. Make your own weather.
Mm-hmm.
Make your own weather, because we're all 5 of us on this call are stubborn, maybe stupid, because we have our own businesses, and so there you go. That's it. Don't give up. I wrote down, don't give up on my little thingy there. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yay, I like
Well,
that.
I think you're also extremely committed to what you're doing. I think there's those people who have small businesses. The problem, I think, is you have this passion for whatever it is. But with that passion, you decide to become a small business owner. But now you've got accounting, you've got HR, you've got sales, you've got marketing, you've got all these hats you wear. And then when things go bad, you start to question, like, God, was this a good idea? I think I don't want to speak for Armen, but since 1966, this business has been in business, and I think the commitment of the people high up in the company is there. So it's not like,
And that's really important. That commitment at the top has to be there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Claudia, tell us what you, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. Knowing what you know now, how would you have, done things differently?
Knowing what I know now, I would have kicked off so I think we talked about it the last time. My business plan for 2020 was to increase direct to consumer as part of my business mix, because I was way too dependent on wholesale. So I was 95-5, and the goal was to go to 50-50, 50 wholesale, 50% direct to consumer. That was what I planned to do.
Right.
I wish I'd done that a year earlier, but because it was part of the plan anyway, when COVID hit, I was in the middle of doing it. I was hiring marketing people. I was redoing the website. I was upgrading the Shopify. I was doing all the things that I was in the middle of hiring the people to do it now, and COVID just made me do it really fast. Mm-hmm. And I had some serious bumps on the road because I really suck at hiring people. And the first person I hired was a disaster. So I had to weather the disaster within a disaster and then move on to another team. One other thing that really strikes me that I have not done, and I'm making it my goal. I want to do it now. I want to really know this now. And that is, I've never done a deep dive into my business as far as which distribution channel is the most profitable, and then exploit that channel, and maybe get rid of other channels. Like maybe it's time for me to cut products. Maybe it's time for me to add products. I don't know. I don't really know, but this is the kind of deep dive I'm doing in my business now. Because I'm the optimist in the room. I'm the sun. I'm the rosy glasses. So I always talk about sales, revenue. I don't talk about expenses or profitability. I talk about sales. Like, oh, my sales have grown X%. I'm so awesome. But I'm not awesome if I'm not controlling expenses. I'm not awesome if I'm not profitable. I'm not awesome if I'm not focusing on what parts of my business are profitable and maybe getting rid of those that aren't profitable. Mm-hmm. Or maybe changing my pricing structure, maybe doing a number of things. So I never have done that. And I'm doing that this year.
Right. Yeah.
I already know. I mean, the most profitable distribution channel is via your Shopify. On your own website, that is where you're going to make the most profit. Because if you're selling to a grocery chain, you're selling at wholesale, and then they're adding their percent, and then the distributor adds their percent, and then you make $1.50. Similarly with wholesale, big customers.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes, Claudia, though.
Armen has something to add there.
Claudia, I agree about the profit margin, but sometimes if you can do it right, that exposure at the wholesale level with your brand is the discovery to you online. So you may make less money, but now you've in theory captured their customer that you can go direct to consumer. Because if you look at the cost of acquiring, because in direct to consumer, acquiring customers are expensive. Yeah. But if you can have Whole Foods, quote unquote, help you buy customers, and they're giving you $1.50, we'll say, every time they give you a customer opportunity, that's it. Maybe it's worth it. Yeah. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe there's a coupon you put on there and say, hey, next one for me directly is 85 cents off or $1 off. Yeah. And now you have their email address. So good luck on your search. That's an awesome way. But make sure you don't forget about marketing and branding using their backs and their story,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, thanks, Armen. Claudia, tell me if you had, are there any tips that you would want to give people, other business owners?
I really feel like when disaster strikes, you have to be bold. You have to find courage, and you have to do what you have to do to survive.
Yeah.
Don't put your head in the sand and figure that pivot and go get that money. You just figure out what you have to do to survive. Because, this was really fascinating to me. So I'm in my introductory meeting last week via Zoom with all the other finalists from Stacy's, with Stacy and one of the co-founders of Hello Alice, which, by the way, Hello Alice is a fantastic resource for women-owned businesses, female-founded businesses. And at the end of the meeting, what are the pearls of wisdom, right? So the founder of Stacy's Chips, says, I know you're all in this to give back, to improve your communities via what you do, but what you need to do for 2020 is survive. That's all you need to do for 2020. And I 1,000% agree with that. Because 2021 for me is now my business plan for 2021 looks like what my business plan for 2020 did before the COVID crisis. But I still have those same goals. They're just pushed off a year. And those goals are big growth goals. I'm just going to figure out a different way to do it.
Yeah, that's good advice. Survive, be bold, but get through this. And I love what you said earlier about looking for as many sources of funding as possible through grants and all of that. I think that's great.
And like Armen said, I always say this to my staff: we're surviving to thrive. Yeah. We're not surviving to survive. We're going to take off, but we're going to make it through this crisis and do everything we can, and then we're going to thrive.
Like it. I like it. Thank you. Maria,
yes.
What would you do differently now, knowing what you know now?
Oh gosh, what would I do differently? I guess I would have spent more time on my online offerings, and maybe if I had known, I would have tweaked my product mix. I would have not. There were certain things I wouldn't be carrying. But I guess hindsight 2020 is kind of a difficult thing. Who would have known a pandemic like this was going to happen? One of the things that I think is just to look for to always be looking for opportunity. I'm always looking for opportunities in my business. And so I do take time to reassess in terms of what product works, what product doesn't work, and, keeping it fresh, keeping it different, trying to pay attention to trends. So that I couldn't have seen the pandemic coming. I didn't see it coming. And, but now I guess moving forward, anything can happen. So just trying to be nimble and trying to just be able to pivot quickly. So it's more what I'm doing in the future. How I'm buying product for the store is very different than the way I used to buy. I'm tightening up my windows. I'm not ordering. Normally I would have ordered almost a year ago for clothing to come in now. I'm waiting to closer to the season until I need it. I'm not, I can't get product in August that people aren't going to want to buy until October, November. So that's sort of it's a combination. Yeah. It's more taking the information and moving it to forward thinking.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's good points, Maria, because you seem to say that like you don't think this is valuable information, but here's the thing is there's going to be a pandemic. It may not be a viral pandemic, but there's going to be something. There's always going to be something that's going to come in and shake us up as small business owners. And all those points you just made are excellent points for anybody who's in retail. So, thanks for sharing.
Oh, sure. And I just want to say the other thing that I hopefully I'm going to do, Claudia, is look for opportunities for grants for women-owned businesses. I've never taken the time to do that.
Oh, there's so many. I just found out I got the FedEx Small Business Grant. It's $5,000 and very helpful, right?
Wow.
And that is one, and they keep coming up. So there's the FedEx Small Business Grant. There's something called the Amber Grant. That's every month.
Wow.
And the application takes about 10 minutes.
Now I'm going to take a look at that.
Did you say 10 minutes, Claudia?
10 minutes. Some of these applications, you just have to you have to get a compelling story. I'm a 100% women-owned business in retail, in COVID. here's what's happened. Here's my pivot. Here's how I've adjusted. But you just tell a compelling story. My Amber grant, I've tried 5 times. I've never gotten it. So my story mustn't be so compelling, or they don't like it. Or
You
they
have
don't
persistence in your pocket there.
Claudia, I'd make that list and I'd offer it. I'd give you my email for that list, or that your research that you've done is valuable. It's valuable.
I've also spent a lot of time on Zoom calls with women-owned businesses, telling them where to go to get money.
Buy my coffee and I'll throw in my list of female grants.
Yes.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah. No, really, I'm not. I think I will do it. My husband loves coffee, and I'd love that list.
I'll send you the list.
The other thing is, Armen, who's flush, we've got Sarah Blakely who did the, red backpack.
Yep.
I mean, here's where the marketing behind that, where you're giving money to help other businesses, but you are the business who's doing it. I want to do business with businesses who are helping other businesses.
Right.
And then here's another, this is a different topic. It's not grants, but yes, I will definitely help you guys get female founder grant money or grant applications. I'll show you where to go. Sarah Blakely is definitely one, the Red Backpack Fund. Amber grants, Sarah Blakely, I'll get your emails. But there's a new women-based e-commerce platform launching in September, and they're looking for women-owned businesses, and it's services. So for Lori and Lucille, there's a service component. So you're a woman-owned business who does what you do, and then Maria, you could ship via this platform. So women-owned business called the W Marketplace. And they're launching in September. And the whole purpose of this marketplace, this e-commerce platform, is gender parity, giving women-owned businesses the opportunity to get out there in the world and get people to know that you're existing. Here's the thing, guys. 68% of consumers want to buy from women-owned businesses, but they don't know where they are or who they are. And that's where your story and branding comes in. We got to shout it from the rooftops that we're women-owned businesses that need support.
I'll take the other 38%, thanks.
So anyway, I learned those factoids in the Stacy's Rise project.
Wow, that's terrific. And valuable information.
Sure.
Valuable.
I'm a font of knowledge on grants and resources.
It sounds like it.
Well, I want to talk to you.
That's a big word, font. I don't know if those under 32 know what that means, but okay.
I don't think
I'm
any of
serious.
us are under 32.
So anyway, that's my story.
That's terrific. So this has been awesome catching up with all of you. And
Thank you for taking the time to come and talk with us, because I think you don't realize how much value what you're going through and how much help that can be to other people who could be listening in, and it's really helpful. So thank you very much.
Good.
Thanks for having us. This is great to catch up and hear the stories.
Let's do it again in 4 more months.
That's what I was going to say. I think do it in 4 more months.
Yeah.
And see where we're all at.
Optimistic. That's great.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Any last words from each one of you? Anything you're sitting there going, gosh, I wish I said this.
I can't think of anything.
All right.
Just happy to see everybody and hope everybody keeps doing well.
Yeah.
And when we touch base, I hope we're all killing
I
it.
guess
Absolutely.
Yep. I guess I have one thing.
Uh-oh.
Armand had said this earlier, so I don't know. Can you read it? Where's my camera?
Oh, that's good.
Ah,
Never give up.
There we go.
Hey.
That's what I have.
how
I
much
love
does that cost on your site? How much can I buy that for?
I'll send you. I don't have any left. This one's missing a letter, but when I get some in, I'll let you know.
Oh, wait a minute. It's imperfect. Is that it?
It's an imperfect mug.
I think that's perfect.
That's where to go. It's missing.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, because that's very,
I'll send you this one.
coffee.
I'll send it to you. Just
I love
get
it.
me your address.
Got that,
I'll do
Lori?
that for you, Armen.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all so much.
All right.
Have a
Bye.
I
Thank
look forward to talking to you again. Lori and I
Bye.
appreciate it. Appreciate your
Bye.
time.
Bye.
Take care.